Major breaking crypto news today. As we can see, the markets are continuing to fall. You can see here crypto news today, Bitcoin taps that 61k level, and as this has been ongoing and accelerating over the past few weeks. You can see recently over the course of, I'd say, the past 6 or 7 months, we have essentially been in a bear market. And since then, as you can see, we have basically come up, made a new all-time high, huge drop to the downside, accumulation, manipulation up, and then basically down again here, as you can see on this chart. Basically, we're doing the same thing now, and I've been calling this for a good while, and it's now coming to fruition. You can see here that the markets have dropped recently from around 80k in that big monthly fair value gap that was up there, down to 63k here, and looking for my final target of 50k. As you can see here in crypto news today, the market continues to bleed as June maintains its bearish trend. Bitcoin crashed below $62,000 overnight, falling minus 4.8% over the past 24 hours. The crash has caused more than 1.63 billion in liquidations, which is crazy, and over 1.38 billion of that figure being long trades. So as you can see here, we have been continuing the bear market flow, and you can see here inflows for ETFs haven't been great either, with a further 400 million plus exiting and less than yesterday's $500 million figure, which is crazy. But outflows obviously continuing, and the Iran war, you can see the Iran and the US on the brink of all-out war, which has led to extreme volatility. The Nasdaq seems to be pumping, but everything else seems to be struggling. You can see here Trump has reportedly drawn his private red line with Iran, and that line is American blood. The president reportedly told aides he would consider ending the ceasefire if Iran kills US troops, even as officials publicly insist the truce remains intact through the constant skirmishes that we're seeing. Obviously, this is going to escalate and continue, but I don't really think this is anything to do with what's happening with Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin in reality is just very weak compared to the Nasdaq recently, and has been in a bear market for some time, ever since the all-time high. And really, this is just adding fuel to the fire, or giving a catalyst for the market to move where I think it was probably already going. So as you can see, continued liquidations here and continued bearishness, despite the fact that the Nasdaq has been pretty strong. As you can see here, crypto crash today, people are divided on analysis of where we go next. You can see we took another hit here, another $2,000 in under an hour, which is a crazy swing when you think about it. When you think Bitcoin used to move, you know, like $20,000 in an entire cycle, and now we're doing $2,000 in essentially one day. That's crazy. Ethereum here falling harder on a percentage basis. As we can see, everything is dumping right now massively, and you can see, we can see, as I was saying before, with the ETF inflows, institutional selling adds to market weakness. Abraxas Capital here, a crypto investment firm, reportedly sold 2,500 Bitcoin worth 166 million over the past 24 hours at the average price of $67,000, sending 1,500 Bitcoin to Kraken and withdrawing 22.7 million in USDC. So you can see people off-ramping right now, and people in general just being very bearish and hesitant with the crypto market, which has led to the increased, I'd say, compounding of this liquidation cascade that we're seeing. You can see views on the significance of the decline are divided. Peter Schiff says that Bitcoin found temporary support near 61k and bounced 2,000 from its lows, but I think in reality we are in a point now where Bitcoin is very far down, and this is the major talking point of the day in terms of news. You can see here everything down double digits over the past few days. I mean, in reality here, pretty much everything is over 20%, 30% down over the past month or so, and continuing in reality. Obviously, we had that spike up, and now we're getting that liquidation move down. As you can see, the crypto market dropped over 2.5 trillion from 2.53 trillion to 2.25 trillion in a week, which is crazy. And Bitcoin obviously testing that support down near 60k again overnight. In reality here, I think we are seeing some sell-offs from ETFs, and I think the sentiment around crypto very bearish right now. We've also got war news, and obviously we are seeing just the Nasdaq absolutely killing it right now. Meanwhile, crypto is looking very dejected and on its heels in comparison, which is obviously not what you want to be seeing. You can see the crypto market actually dropped a crazy amount. Bitcoin's at 62 or 3k right now, and really You can see pretty much everything has had a huge downturn because of Bitcoin's recent bearish price action leading the market down. No surprises here. The major news today, like I said, is just that the fact that it looks as though we are getting some selling from institutions along with the bearish sentiment, along with the war news, creating a catalyst where Bitcoin looks like it wants to go down. And as you can see, it has been going down quite significantly. Let me just move my camera there. There we go. You can see even MicroStrategy have started selling crypto. And this has obviously never happened before. A very, very bearish sentiment adding layer as well. And you can see here, Bitcoin ETFs just posted their longest outflow streak ever. So adding fuel to the fire for the downtrend. You can see very, 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 very bearish sentiment right now for crypto, which is usually, in my opinion and in my experience, the best time to buy. But you can see here, sticky inflation and Iran strikes are also holding crypto back, as you would expect. All the macro tensions we're seeing with Iran have been killing crypto over the past 10 months or so, really. And Bitcoin's the only crypto that's really got going in this cycle at all because of the Trump administration and all the instability that's come with it. You can see macro conditions have only made things worse for crypto. Inflation came in at 3.8% year over year in April, the hottest reading since May 2023. Wholesale prices are up, and as you can see, energy prices are up as well. Everything is up, which is making things more difficult for crypto as well. But overall, apart from this, the only things that I've seen in terms of, let me get out of my way, 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 get out of my way. The only other things that I've seen really, as you can see, we've got more articles coming out about the crazy liquidations we've been seeing. Bitcoin looking very bearish here, and really this is the main talking point. But we have had a few other things going on in the background, as you can see. Let me just skip through this for some reason. This has started popping up. You can see Ethereum. We are having some real, I would say altcoin mania in terms of people worrying about their altcoins being essentially useless. You can see not all the Ethereum layer 2s are dying, but many of them are no longer having a reason to exist, essentially. Obviously, if Ethereum continues to upgrade, we're going to see a lot of things becoming irrelevant or essentially ousted from even needing to be used, really. You can see when Zero Network announced it was shutting down last month, the reaction across crypto was weary. Another Ethereum layer 2 just bit the dust, and obviously these layer 2s are going to continue to die off as crypto starts to mature. We are going to see a lot of the variety of cryptos go away and a lot more cryptos come in general. That will just be the main cryptos. Only the strongest will survive, and in reality a lot of these layer 2s that were experimental 5 years ago, most of them are going to be gone in the next 5 years. You can see this is all just maintained by the data here. We have seen layer 2s exploded over the past several years, but obviously quite a lot of them starting to die off now as they're just not getting the volume or the support necessary. We have a flood of networks built using infrastructure stacks such as Optimism's OP stack, Arbitrum Orbit and ZK Sync, as we've seen. But while launching a chain became easier, attracting users has become harder and harder, as we've seen. The competition is brutal, obviously, and if you don't get enough volume on your exchange, on your protocol, then you will die off, basically. Another piece of interesting news I saw today, as we can see, Ripple is continuing to make partnerships behind the scenes, which I think is also very, very interesting. You can see Ripple has been inking strategic deals lately, despite the fact that things have been pretty rubbish recently for price action. And you can see many have focused on its USD pegged stablecoin RLUSD. Earlier this week, the firm shook hands with the Turkish crypto platforms Bilira, Bixiten and Bitlo, aiming to boost adoption and usage of the product. And you can see in general we're seeing more and more strengthening of the XRP chain and Ripple in general. The ETF front, as you can see, unlike spot Bitcoin and Ethereum exchange traded funds, those with XRP as the underlying asset have attracted some more capital recently, and data shows that inflows have outpaced outflows over the past several weeks, which is a big opposite to Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is interesting. So as we can see here, XRP, the price outlook is actually looking fairly positive compared to many other cryptos, and it's holding a lot stronger than Bitcoin and Ethereum, really, with those inflows probably helping a lot. We've obviously seen a lot of outflows from Bitcoin and Ethereum, as we mentioned, but overall these are the major news for today. As you can see, this is the last piece that I thought was interesting. Bitmine's Ethereum bet nears 9 billion loss as Ether falls below $1,800. As you can see, let's take a look at this. The largest Ethereum treasury firm is sitting on an estimated 8.9 billion in unrealized losses as Ethereum fell below $1,800 in the latest crypto pullback. As we can see, things are not looking good in general for ETFs in the crypto space right now. But as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. That is the news for today. Like and subscribe, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts on today's drop. Do you think we're cooked? And I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.